Hello friends, today I am going to take a lecture on Introduction of Information Security. It's an overview about securing your data or information on the internet or the network. This slide is prepared and presented by me. My name is Ankit Idwania and it's created under CC BY SA license, a Creative Commons license. This open education resource is under free culture license, so you are free to use, distribute and modify it, including for commercial purposes, provided you acknowledge the source and share alike. The learning outcomes of this lecture should be: the learner should be able to understand the basic concepts related to information security, and the learner should be able to detect the three aspects of information security. Evaluation strategy. At the end of this learning dialogue videos, you will see some activities, learning by doing activities, which will contain three types of questionnaires. One is MCQs that are of 1 mark, and then brief and detailed subjective questions of 3 to 5 marks. So let's begin with the learning dialogue activity, that is the video lecture. The background says security of information or data. So what is the need of this information or data security? As we all know, information is an asset and power since ages. It's not a case of today. The war or the business or even the personal relationships depends on information. So it has to be secured from illegal access or misuse. Traditionally, it was done through physical or mechanical means, like putting your data or information papers inside some lockers or cabinets, or through mechanical access provisions where only few people have those access rights. But in today's compressed world, it requires automated tools. As we know, nowadays our data is flowing not only in personal computers but also on the internet through social media or through clouds like Google Drives, SkyDrives and so on. So in this kind of distributed environment, the security of data is of utmost importance. So let's first go through its various basic terminologies. First is, what is security or secure? Means to be free from any unwanted access or damage. Computer security, it consists of various tools used to secure data from unintended users. Network security, on the other hand, it consists of various security measures required while data is in a network, not on a standalone PC. Whereas internet security, it consists of various security measures required while data is in interconnected networks, that is the internet. So as you can see, there is very small boundaries between the three kinds of security which we are talking, but we will be majorly focusing on the internet security, that is the security of information flown on the internet. So as you can see in the security trends in this graph, which is obtained from the CERT, the source is from CERT, that the attacks are becoming more and more sophisticated as the time is going from 1990 to 2001, but the knowledge required is not more, as the required knowledge is going less and the sophistication of attack is going upward. So it means it's nowadays more easy to attack and obtain illegal access to your information as it was in older days. So your data is more at a risk nowadays than in earlier days. So there are three aspects of security. These aspects of security can be used by the security manager or the person responsible for the security of an organization to assess the effectiveness of various security policies or security products. And this was defined by the X.800 security architecture for OSI under the ITU-T. So it helps you to identify the various aspects required for security under the OSI layer, that is the internet structure, the backbone of our internet structure. So it has, first is the security attack, the security mechanism and the security service. So we will see in detail what all the three aspects mean. The first one is the security attack. It is an event like an attack or a threat which puts the organization's or individual's information or data at risk. So information security is about how to prevent, reduce or detect such attacks. There are many kind of attacks, but generically there are majorly two types: passive attack and active attack. Now, this passive attack is a kind of silent attack because the user A and user B, while they're communicating with each other through the internet, the hacker edge or the unauthorized or illegal person accessing the information will quietly just get some data what they're transmitting or monitor their traffic flow or the communication flow. So it's the attack which is difficult to detect because neither user A nor user B will know that somebody else is also listening their contents or reading their contents or monitoring their traffic flow. It's a kind of eavesdropping it quietly. So this is known as a passive attack. The other kind of attack is known as an active attack, where user A and user B think that they are communicating with each other, but actually their information is passed through hacker edge, and then hacker edge will pass the information to user B. So neither user A nor user B will know that they are not communicating with each other, but they are communicating through a third illegal person. So this is a more harmful attack because the hacker edge can change the message content. User B will think that it is communicating with user A, but it is edge, and so the correct message won't be transferred. So it could be very harmful. Even hacker edge can deny any information to user B, and it will think that user A has not provided that information. So this could be a very serious kind of attack, and there are measures for preventing both passive and active attack, but passive attack is more difficult because it is in the first place difficult to detect itself. Next aspect was security service. It provides service or functionality for protection of computerized information, similar to physical documents protection. So that are the various features or functionalities to secure your. So as with physical documents, we can have signatures and dates on the document to prove its authenticity. We can provide protection from tampering or destruction. We can provide notarization or witnesses in front of whom the documents were created. We can license it, record it. So all similar things can also be done to our computerized document. We have digital signatures and various other mechanisms for providing such kind of service. So security service is a function which enhance our information security through various processes. So the security services definition is also provided by X.800 and RFC 2828, that is request for comment 2828. X.800 says a service provided by a protocol layer of communicating open systems which ensures adequate security of the systems or of data transfers. Whereas RFC 2828 provides a more detailed and clear definition of security service, that is a processing or communicating service provided by a system to give a specific kind of protection to system resources. So I will go with the X.800. X.800 provide these 5 classic security services. The first one is authentication, then access control, data confidentiality, integrity, and non-repudiation. Authentication means having confidence that only claimed entities are communicating. It means that if user A and user B have been claimed entities, as we had seen in the earlier image, then only those two are communicating, as you can see in these earlier images. So if user A and user B are two claimed entities, then there should be a confidence that only these two are communicating and no third person is eavesdropping or kind of snooping their information. That's authentication. Access control, avoidance from the unapproved utilization of an asset. So even your network bandwidth, this is also an asset, and no third party unauthorized entity is using it either indirectly or directly. So that comes under access control. Even your information, your PCs, that all comes under this information asset. Data confidentiality means security of information from unapproved disclosure. So if you are transmitting your data information on the network, then no third party can read it or access it. It could be under encrypted mode, so even if it's broadcasted, if everybody can see it, nobody can read it. So it all comes under confidentiality. Integrity, confirmation that the information got is sent by the claimed entity. So we have to be clear about the data integrity, that the data sent by user A is actually sent by user A only and not by from hacker edge, or it has not been replayed or relayed from the hacker edge. So that confirmation can get through data integrity. So integrity of the data has to be confirmed. And non-repudiation. This is something which nobody else could misuse the security. So it's like confirmation that information got is just sent by an approved entity. So it means that user A has sent to user B some information, and if later on user A says no, this was not sent by me, this was actually sent by some other, then there could be some legal problems with it. So non-repudiation confirms that the information sent is sent only and only by user A and no third party has either read it or changed it. So that comes under user non-repudiation. So it's a very important concept. So somebody could say that I had sent some information, some message, but later on he claims that it was not sent by me, it was sent by some hacker. So such things should not happen, and that comes under non-repudiation. So confirmation information got is as sent by an approved entity only. Security mechanism, the third aspect, it is a way to resist, reduce or recover from a security attack. So it means that there should be some mechanism which will, stop those attacks. So there are not just stopping, it means you get to resist it from attacking. If it is not able to resist completely, at least it should to reduce the attack, the amount of damage done. And the amount of damage done, after all, has to be recovered. So there should be some mechanism for doing this resist, reduce or recover stuff. But there is no one size fits all solution. There are many types of sophisticated attacks, so there has to be many kind of sophisticated solutions. But in general, cryptographic technique is present in many security mechanisms. Cryptographic pins encrypted information. So the security mechanism of X800 contains specific security mechanism and pervasive mechanism. Specific are specific to some protocols. So similar kind of security mechanism like access control, data, digital signatures, this all could be done at specific protocols of the OSI layer, not at all the layers. Whereas pervasive is a kind of general security mechanism, as you can go through this list. So in summary, I would say learner should have the confidence that it has understood the various terminologies and the overview of security attack services and mechanisms. I would acknowledge the book Cryptography Network Security 4th edition authored by William Stalling, from where the chapter 1 introduction has been referred for creating these lecture slides. So now let's try to evaluate the learners. So these are the two MCQs I provided. Underline is defined as only sender and recipient should be able to class, that means access the contents of message. So these are the four options. Underline is defined as information should be able to authorize parties at all time, and these are the other two options. The answers you can discuss in the link below or in the YouTube, on my YouTube channel also, and I would give you correct feedback out on it. The subjective questions are brief, subjective, detailed. Subjective, security is divided into which parts, and they start with the security services. Justify information security is a process and give the various similarities, differences between active and passive attack. So I think now you would be clear and you would be able to give answer on it. You can pose your questions on the link itself at the below or on the YouTube channel link of mine, that's Ankit Didwania Office. You can find it on YouTube. Thank you.